Okay, and we're rolling?
All right.
Okay.
Cool. Here we are in beautiful Culver City, California.
Outside the theater, ready to watch
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds. The birds that are angry.
Oh, man, if you told me 3 years ago that I'd be watching the theatrical release of this goddamn game, I would not believe you.
Oh,
but
man.
I'm doing it for you guys. I don't want to be here, if I can be perfectly honest, but I'm doing it for you, the audience.
Oh, man. That is loud cars driving by because, again, this is all real.
This is real life.
We go to the theater and we record it here and now.
That's right.
When we're about to watch it in 10 minutes.
Right.
And then again once we're done.
Yeah, I mean, that's what people come... I mean, anyone can sit in a studio with professional microphones and do it, but we're here on the scene. We're on the beat.
Yeah. On that note, hey, disclaimer, by the way, criticism is terrible, and anybody who does it is just being terrible. It's just a rotten thing to do.
I can't make an Angry Birds movie. Who am I to judge?
Yeah, what if you make a really good point? It's like, well, a lot of good that does anybody now. Where were you like a year ago when we were making the movie? It's just why say anything?
Well, I will say this. If any studio wants to hire us to just go over the script and make sure it's good, if anyone's listening, then I would be happy to do that and make your script a lot better.
I think really try to understand what you're going for and try to give thoughtful, helpful notes.
Yeah. So yeah, and who did Angry Birds? Is that Sony Pictures?
I can't believe I'm saying this. Not totally sure. I know I think the company that makes Angry Birds is like Rovio.
Okay. They're not a production company though.
No, as far as who they got to do this animation for this entire movie, I'm not sure.
Well,
so, honestly, it's really, really embarrassing.
Talk about something else. I'm going to look it up and get back to you.
Oh
whoops,
my gosh.
Accidentally saw the percentage guy.
Guys,
oops.
Dude, it's not like I don't see the percentages of some of this stuff. Like, what percentage did you see? Tell us. Let's see. You know what? Hey, you know what? Can I just say, and I think I said this last time, but, oh my gosh, you guys, Rotten Tomatoes and film critics in general are just on the road to irrelevance. Because film critics, they see the Rotten Tomatoes rating, and if it's high, then they say, oh, I better make it high too, and then it gets more high, or if it's low, then they say, oh, I better make it low too, and then it gets lower. And so basically, Angry Birds is just sending every single movie either up to into the 90s or down into the teens, and it's like, guess what? I don't need to listen to any of you now because the Rotten Tomatoes score isn't accurate anymore, and the reviews aren't accurate anymore because everybody's just piling on into this utterly binary logic toward movies, and it's stupid now. So go to Metacritic.
Well, in this one specific situation, the Metacritic score is actually lower than Rotten Tomatoes.
That's
somehow.
Okay. Who cares? Probably because it got pushed upward because that's how Rotten Tomatoes works. Just encourages piling on. So how are we going to pile on or not pile on? I don't know. You know what, Nick? Do you think we would pile on if now that we know these scores? Do you think we're going to pile on? Do you think we're capable of piling on? Because I think that we're just too much of free thinkers to pile on like the rest of these guys.
Well, of course, we're critics, and as critics, we're not influenced by other critics.
Yeah, I think
we're going to think for ourselves and give you our personal opinion.
We're too intellectually honest.
We like the Ratchet and Clank movie.
Yeah.
The critics disagree.
Yeah.
We're like rebels, man.
Yeah.
That's
my gosh.
Yeah.
This is real, outsider, on the ragged edge of film criticism over here.
Yeah, a lot of these critics, they take money from the studios, put it right in their pockets. Not us. We don't get any money from this.
Oh my gosh.
So we're unbiased.
Yup. You can trust us because nobody's paying us. In fact, we haven't made a dime. In fact, we've lost money.
I'm sleeping in a box. Spending all my money on movie tickets.
I sleep in a very nice apartment full of cockroaches.
At least you have friends.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, everybody's very nice.
I mean cockroaches. That was the joke. Edit that bad boy out.
The cockroaches, I don't know. I've never taken the time to get to know them because I've become really adept at killing them.
Oh, you monster.
Yeah, no, it's true. Oh, I just bought all this poison. I
feel like we've gone off on a bit of a tangent.
What? Us? Never. We've never done that.
Okay, so So
what rating did it get?
oh shit, it was a 38 on Metacritic and a 45 on Rotten Tomatoes.
It sounds pretty middle of the road. That's kind of what I would expect.
Do you think that you're going to enjoy it based on the trailer you saw?
I think it's gonna be funny. I think it's gonna be funny. I think I'm gonna have some laughs. Honestly, the fact that this bird is angry, I feel like I'm gonna relate to that. Okay. I don't know if you guys could tell from my rant, but I can be passionate about certain things. You know, I can feel like stuff is, you know, say that's unfair. You know, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll really relate to this character.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm afraid there's going to be some potty humor, which there were in the trailer. I hope that it's not all like poop jokes and butt slapping, but I'm prepared for it. I'm
gonna like, just for the hell of it, go complete opposite of Nick. I hope it's nothing, just farts from beginning to end. Farts and pee.
I hate that stuff. And going back a little bit, to the Ratchet and Clank movies' benefit, they didn't do any of that.
That's true. I almost wish they had.
Okay.
I don't know. Just once or twice. I don't know. There was a little, you know, there's an edge in some of the games that I felt like was a bit lacking. But
oh, right. Like all the titles are innuendo.
All the titles are innuendo. Like I can show you, man, go back to the PlayStation 2 like games. Like, there are some jokes, dude. Like, I'll tell you later.
All right.
Oh,
well, we're here to watch.
A little much for our audience, I think, but I'll tell you.
Okay. Off the record. Anyway, we're here to see Angry Birds, so we're going to go do that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, it sounds like our expectations are middling.
Yeah. I'll probably, like, have a good time.
Yeah, I think we'll have fun while we're in there, and, you know, probably not change our lives.
Yeah, but I can separate the critic versus the person who's just entertained by stuff.
Yeah,
pretty easily.
Yeah, me too.
And then go back in and figure out what was wrong with it.
Yeah, no, I wish I could just be more critical of stuff, but I always just get lost in it and just have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay, see you guys after the movie.
Bye.
We're back.
We are back, and we just saw Angry Birds, the film.
Would you like to go first?
No. you go first, because, like, well...
Okay.
There's a reason behind it.
Okay, I'll go first. I loved it. I had such a good time. I was laughing the whole time.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, you know what? As I predicted, I related so much to Red. Like, all that little stuff that's pissing him off for the first 10 minutes of the movie. I was just like, oh, I feel all of it so much.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm so full of hate. So I really enjoyed the movie. I had such a good time.
I enjoyed it as well. But here's what I wanted to say, and here's what I wanted to say second.
Okay.
Which is, they did the best that they could with the premise that they had.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I know it was just some executives in 2014 going, like, just learning about Angry Birds, thinking, we got to capitalize on this phenomenon, and we need to have, like, slingshots in it, there has to be pigs in it, and they have to have, it has to be about eggs and all this junk that has to relate to the game.
Yes.
And, like, the writers came in and they did, like, a bang-up job with the limitations that they had.
Yeah,
and,
I
like,
think that's
there were a
totally
lot of really
fair.
good jokes in it. I thought, like, they all hit really well. And it's, like, Red was a great character.
Yeah.
I feel like he was, like, the Rick of this universe. Like, he just kind of saw through all this BS.
Yeah.
Like, almost talking to the audience.
Well, he had, he had a big sort of anti-authoritarian streak, like a mile wide, and it just ended up being, exactly what they needed. He was the man for his time and place.
Yeah. I guess the conceit of the film was they needed a warrior, and, like, that was him. Like, he's like this leader that needed to step up because the rest of them couldn't do it. They've known peace for too long.
Yeah, they're all soft, but he's got that rage and that pain of rejection.
Yeah. So, without spoiling too much, this was a film about colonization, except, like, a weird twist where, like, if this was, like, Cortez invading the Aztec Empire with their superior technology, it was then a story of them going to Spain and blowing it up.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't played the game.
No, I haven't.
So in the game, neither the birds nor the pigs have arms or legs.
Uh-huh.
They're just heads.
Sure.
Which is why in the movie they're kind of faces and heads and bodies are all one shape.
Yep.
Because in the game they're just heads. They're just heads.
Yeah.
But basically, it's these birds hanging around, bird heads bouncing around on a grassy field.
Yep.
And then,
I understand the premise.
I think like a mosquito lands on one of their eggs, and they become enraged and start stomping this mosquito into oblivion against the ground. Meanwhile, these pigs sneak up and see them distracted stomping this mosquito and take the eggs and run away.
Okay.
And then the birds turn around, see the eggs are gone, and now they're more angry than they've ever been. And then Angry Birds. That's what started it all. The opening cinematic of the little iPhone game is 30 seconds long.
So the inciting incident is a mosquito.
The inciting incident...
That's ridiculous.
It's I would say the mosquito is more of a tease, and the inciting incident is the pigs taking the birds' eggs.
Okay, it's more of a distraction. And show up.
Yeah, and then the game is you having these little bird balls in a slingshot, shooting them at pigs that are in these large wood, stone structures that have boxes of TNT laying around that, you want to hit those and blow it all up. And
Gotcha.
Yeah. And red is your basic ammunition.
Sure.
The bomb obviously is a shootable. The yellow guy's a shootable. There's a little blue bird that you shoot that splits into 3.
Okay, the teaser at the very end.
Yeah.
Spoilers. That happens.
Yeah, and they introduced more birds as they went. But yeah, so yeah. Anyway, so from that they built this whole movie.
As much as I don't want to admit it, it was successul.
I had a really good time.
Yeah,
honestly,
it was good.
I enjoyed myself. Like, okay, so
I didn't want to either. God,
yeah. Okay, also let me say, the animation I felt like was really solid.
They were so
really,
expressive,
really solid.
There were all these little movements. It felt great.
Did you notice that the mouths were cheating to one side all the
Yes.
time?
When it was a straight view, the beak was kind of 3/4.
Yeah, the only one of them who had a beak that didn't really cheat was Red.
Yeah.
You could look at his beak straight on, but everybody else, they cheated their beak to one side or the other.
3D's getting really good at kind of matching what the strengths of 2D used to be.
Yeah, and again, this is Sony, so this is the same place that makes all that really awesome cartoony, Hotel Transylvania animation.
That's right.
Oh, man.
So they know what they're doing.
The fact that their heads and their bodies are this one shape, and yet they're still moving around and so expressive and still doing, head accents and stuff. I'm looking at it
I thought the designs were really great.
Yeah, I'm looking at it a lot of the time. They were cheating them a lot. You could tell that they were making expressions that only looked good from the angle we were looking at them,
Yeah.
Lots of cheats.
But
which
that's
makes
what makes
it better.
Yeah.
It's the strengths of 2D in 3D.
Exactly. It
or
was,
CG, rather. But yeah.
No, it was great.
Yeah. So yeah, is there anything that you would do to improve this movie?
Okay, so let's get into spoiler territory, I guess.
Okay, yeah, spoiler territory.
Well, like I was saying earlier.
Although I don't think spoilers are going to hurt anybody's enjoyment of this movie. I think I had a really good idea. I mean, the preview basically tells you what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the plot is not why you will enjoy this movie. You'll enjoy this movie because you're laughing and because Red draws you in as a character.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to win any writing awards, but if it's a movie for children, fine. There's going to be some dance sequences in it that maybe I would cut if I were a big time director. But who cares? It's for kids.
What, Mighty Eagles dance sequences?
Yeah, and just there's musical performances that aren't really required, but whatever, man. It's for the kids.
Yeah. Well, although now that you mentioned for the kids, I felt like 90% of the jokes were for the adults in the audience.
Yeah.
I felt like there were kids behind us, and they were not getting all the jokes that were happening. We were picking up, there was a lot of little adult humor, little double entendre type stuff.
Sure.
Cardinal sin, he says at one point,
right.
But as a series of bird puns.
Yes.
I
enjoyed his... He walks into the studio, the anger management studio, looks at it around and goes, well, this is going to be awful.
Yeah, yeah. And then he looks at the statues and he goes, well, that's art, that's garbage, and that's exotic, and it
Just
looks
a pile
like
of
a
birds.
pile. Yeah, it's like, is that an orgy? Like what?
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, you know, and it's like completely over kids' heads, and I'm sitting there laughing, and that was the majority of the jokes in the movie. I felt like this movie was really, even though it's ostensibly a kids movie, I felt like this was a movie like for adults who enjoy animation.
Yeah,
I felt like this couldn't be more for me.
God, I really don't want to compare it to Pixar films, but it's like you grow up watching a movie like Toy Story, and you're just like, yeah, this is fun. I'm 7 years old, and this is great. And as you get older, you kind of appreciate it more and more. And I feel like this is definitely not on Pixar level, but there are jokes that you can grow up and still enjoy and get a new aspect to it.
Yeah, Pixar movies will make you cry and have a slower pace. This movie will not make you cry. It's got a very fast pace. It's slapstick.
Even at its like most like the all is lost moment, there's still jokes and stuff in it. Like, they're still goofing around.
Yeah, it never stops being jokes. But I'm laughing at all of them. They're all the jokes are landing.
Yeah,
it's really good. So I had a great time. You know, I think the critics are wrong on this one. You know, I think once again you're getting the real poop from Nick and Lars Have Notes. You know, come here for that real stuff.
A kid-friendly episode,
yep.
So we will not be swearing.
Yeah, you know, even though I probably did already.
Well, whatever.
I don't know.
But yeah, like, I mean, critics are old people, and they're probably reviewing it as they would a movie. But what this movie was trying to accomplish, it accomplished.
Yeah,
and for that, I would rate it higher.
I think that if you're someone who sees animated movies or would even consider seeing this movie, you will definitely have a good time.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
And just appreciating the art of it, it was really well done, just technically speaking.
Yeah. And I really like those characters. I actually really genuinely like every one of them.
Yeah. Who's the Speedy guy's name?
Chuck.
Chuck was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved him.
He was great.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh Gad.
Who is that?
He is
I was trying to place it.
Snowman from Frozen. Olaf.
Okay, yeah, that's why I thought I knew it.
Yep.
Playing, I guess, the same character.
Basically, you know, I'll know now he's super speed and yeah.
I think there were like some smears on his animation too.
Absolutely.
As he's zooming around, it was a lot of fun.
Really good.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay, so what do we rate this movie? You know? I mean, because here's the thing. I feel like, you know, I can't grade down a movie if I can't tell it what to improve. And the truth is, I feel like for what they had to work with and what they achieved, I feel that it surpassed my expectations. And, you know, what I was saying earlier about movie criticism, like, honestly, if I were at the studio and, like, they were saying, well, Lars, what do you think? How could we make this movie better? I would have just gone around and be like, oh my God, you guys are doing a great job. I don't have anything to tell you. Like, you know, they feel like they did a really good job. I don't know how they would have improved this movie, even with the benefit of hindsight, even with not knowing what they went through.
Yeah, well, again,
I mean, yeah, you said fewer dance numbers.
Dance numbers, like, I would say, like, maybe the slingshot scene went on for too long, but it's an Angry Birds movie. They had to have a slingshot scene.
You're right.
They absolutely had to.
Yeah.
And so, like, for what they had to do, I couldn't note it. Yeah,
I felt like the slingshot scene lasted exactly as long as it needed to, kind of. You know, to really hit that note.
And to show that they all had different powers and stuff.
Yeah. And then it ended, and it was like, okay, now we're doing this. You know, we have a goof. I guess Chuck we've kind of seen that before with, like, Quicksilver in
from X-Men. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he uses his super speed.
I'm glad they did that because I felt like the scene in X-Men didn't go on long enough. So I'm glad I got to see more of that. So watch X-Men and then watch this movie. And you'll get just the right amount of super speed.
You know what?
Should we explain what we're talking about? Or are we assuming that people have seen the film?
I mean, if you have super speed, sometimes people, somebody's going by with a belt.
Yeah.
If you have super speed, sometimes other people appear to be standing still.
Yeah, so we got to see it from his perspective.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of like a time stop thing, like from the Awesomes, where he's just
Right.
like putting people into position, and they're just frozen in time, and then time starts up again. They all punch each other in the face and splat paint all over.
Yeah, but you know what? To the movie's credit, when it happened, I was completely in the moment. I didn't even think of the comparison to Quicksilver until now that we're out of the movie.
I totally thought about it.
Oh, you were thought about it at the time?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, you know what?
But it made it even much
Yeah,
better.
I was into this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys know that I have like the short attention span, and like I'm a big fan of like The Amazing World of Gumball, and cartoons just can't be fast paced enough for me. So this was like I was all about this movie. You know.
So are you saying 5 out of 5? 10 out of 10?
For me, man, I mean, it would be crazy if I gave this movie that rating, right? And yet, the thing is, I can't say like this is what would have made this movie better. This is where this movie went wrong. I don't have any of those notes. So,
but. Okay,
can I justify beating up on this movie when I definitely could not have done better?
Okay, we're going to cut this segment out.
I couldn't have done as good.
We're going to cut this segment out because I need to talk to you one-on-one. Which is, I feel like it's not fair because there's movies that are better that you last with you longer. And just because you can't note it doesn't mean you have to give it a 5 out of 5. It's not a perfect film.
We can leave this in. I mean, okay, no,
because think about like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I would say that's a much better film, and I'm still thinking about it to this day.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Just because you can't note something doesn't mean that it's perfect.
Okay, you're making good points.
And a lasting piece of
You're
entertainment.
making good points. You're making good points. I'm very generous with the ratings, and it's because I got this idea in my head that should be the criteria for rating movies. Is like they get graded down for going wrong.
I personally am gonna rate it down a little bit because
it's not a Pixar movie. It didn't make you cry. It was slapstick.
Because it's an Angry Birds movie, and because those limitations were in place, I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 eggs.
Okay. Well, I get your point. About like how the best Angry Birds movie is never going to be as good as the best Toy Story movie.
Sure.
And that even if they made the perfect Angry Birds movie, it's not as good. And so I guess you're right. While I have to say that as far as Angry Birds movies go, this is 10 out of 10. Could not make a better Angry Birds movie.
Okay, I agree.
But I see your point. It would be unfair to give it like a 10 out of 10, like Toy Story.
As just a film
that
exists
a film.
in the universe.
You make a good point. Let's see here. I think. So here's one other thing.
Okay.
And and I hate to say this because I had a good time as well, but this is our second video game animated adaptation movie.
That's right.
In a row.
Yeah.
And the thing is, while this is like the best possible adaptation of Angry Birds, Ratchet and Clank had flaws.
Yeah.
Like it was, I could definitely imagine a better adaptation of Ratchet and Clank.
This one just happened to be the plot of the next game that was coming out, and so they wanted that tie-in. If they wanted to tell the perfect Ratchet and Clank movie, they could have done a different story.
Yeah, but even then, like you make the the game. Even with Ratchet and Clank, like the game and the movie don't follow exactly the same plot line.
Yeah.
So you can make your movie as good as it's going to be, and then, fill your game up with fun weapons, and you're blowing up armies and robots and aliens, and that makes everybody happy. So I don't, I feel like I have to give Angry Birds at least 4 bags of popcorn.
No, it's 4 eggs this time.
4 eggs.
Yeah.
4 eggs out of 5.
Okay.
Because
Because.
What would I do without you, man?
Let's continue.
Have fewer puns in my life. That's what. What would this podcast be without puns?
Basically silence.
Just silent, awkward staring.
I enjoyed this movie, Lars. Did you enjoy this movie, Lars?
And then silent, awkward staring at you.
Yeah.
Which they can't hear, but they can feel it, and it's awkward.
Oh, the tension is palpable.
No, 4 eggs. I'm gonna give it 4 eggs out of 5. Because I think, as you said, I think even though they couldn't have made a better Angry Birds movie, and if you would consider seeing it, then you totally should, and you'll have a good time. But I think it's a better movie than the Ratchet and Clank movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, I think I gave Ratchet and Clank like 3.5 bags of popcorn.
So by your own metric, you have to read it
so this is 4 eggs.
Okay.
I'm trying to be fair to all these different metrics. Being way too logical about stuff that's subjective. I'm really just making up rules as I go.
Well, to be fair, this is a podcast where we critique movies, so I feel like we kind of have to.
Yeah,
It's not really. We don't need to apologize.
It's not. It's only the second most honorable pursuit there is, but we do our best.
Yeah. Policemen, firemen, and movie reviewers.
Yep.
And then teachers below.
I won't tell you which one is first or third.
Okay.
Anyway,
and I'm raising mine up to 3.5. I don't know if that made it in.
I think you said 3.5.
Okay.
I think you said 3.5.
All right.
So I'd say
if you have kids, go ahead and see it.
Yeah.
Definitely get it on Blu-ray.
If you're an adult who enjoys fast-paced stuff, if you enjoy, say, The Amazing World of Gumball.
Sure.
Which, actually that's a really good comparison because both are very fast-paced, just as much physical sight gags as spoken gags, and both of them have a lot of stuff that adults will get that kids won't get.
True.
So, actually, yeah. If you enjoy The Amazing World of Gumball, totally check out this movie.
Okay.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's our review of Angry Birds. We're moving on to the trailer report.
I gotta say, man, forget all the other trailers that we saw. I got just one to talk about. And I feel like this podcast has been made just so I can talk about this film that's coming out in 2016. I'm so happy to have seen this. Oh my god, I forgot the name.
9 Lives.
9 Lives. It is a movie. You guys aren't going to believe me. It's a movie where Kevin Spacey turns into a cat.
Why is he a cat?
Because Kevin Spacey thought he had it all. Jesus Christ. But there was one thing he didn't have, and that was his family. Shot of his little kid going, "When's Daddy coming home?" Are you kidding me? Is this a parody movie? And then there's, what is it, like lightning strikes and he turns into a switch.
So,
with a cat.
by the way, Christopher Walken.
Fucking me.
Christopher Walken,
I'm sorry,
who
kids,
makes any movie better.
Fuck me. Oh, God. That's right.
Christopher Walken. He goes into like a store of some kind.
A cat store?
Yeah. Or either a cat store or a store filled with cats.
Yeah.
And then Christopher Walken curses him to become a cat, and then he becomes his family's cat, which is his wife is Jennifer Garner.
Sure.
And then he's got a little daughter. Because he didn't spend enough time with his family, he's always working. And so now he's got to connect with his family as a cat to become human again.
So it's essentially 100 Deeds, Freddie McDowd, except made into a movie in 2016. Fuck.
There definitely is no reason for this movie to be made because it's been made so many times already. It feels like...
It feels like a joke that an executive said and they made it into a film.
What's a word that means derivative, but like what is too like derivative as derivative is to original. It's like doubly derivative. It's like a derivation of something that's derivative. It's beyond hackneyed. Hackneyed, is that the word that I'm looking for?
I guess. If it were just self-aware, like it would then be like you step on a scale and you're so fat that it goes back to zero. It's an original idea again. But no, it's genuine.
Well, if it were
to make a good
self-aware, then the preview would be, why did we make this movie?
Boy, I'm a cat. Well, here I am. Dude, there's a scene where he's doing pull-ups, and it's clearly like they just like did a time reversal thing, like in After Effects, and it is clearly just like a gif of a cat like going back and forth. I urge all of you, please look up this trailer online. You have to see this.
The title again is Nine Lives.
9 Lives
with Kevin Spacey.
Oh, as a cat.
And then I guess Jennifer Garner and Christopher Walken are in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we saw Ghostbusters, but whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to talk about 9 Lives. Ghostbusters looks all right. It's going to be all right.
I think I'll see it.
No.
You know. No.
No, maybe we'll see it for the show.
Yeah. I mean,
if I do
don't
see
know.
it, it'll be because of the show.
Do you think we would review it?
Yeah, it's pretty much animated anyway.
Yeah, it's all those cartoon ghosts. Ooh, that'll be our first live action movie if we watch it.
Yeah.
Whoa, you guys, we're pretty crazy. Things are getting pretty
We're
crazy
finally
over
branching
here.
out.
Yeah.
You know, we just
man.
criticized animated films, but
Oh my gosh.
we're just going international now.
Well, now, when we review Ghostbusters, we'll have to decide whether we want to give it a regular review or a misogynist review where we're just mad that it's girls the whole time. Be like, I can't believe they made Ghostbusters with girls instead of guys. Makes me so angry.
It's never come up, but I hate women.
How can you...
It's weird that this never happened.
You know what? How can you fight ghosts without a penis, though?
That was a rhetorical question. I will not answer it.
Yeah, well, we'll decide. You guys will see when we see Ghostbusters whether we decide to be misogynists or not.
I hope we are. And then not
we can do
explain it that
both.
episode.
We can flip a coin.
And see which one of us is going to
One of us can be the misogynist.
That'll be a fun exercise. Or we just switch off.
Or one of us could be before the movie, and then after the
yeah.
movie it'll be the other one.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Jeez, I really hope that people hear this one first.
I'm really excited.
Otherwise they won't know what's going on.
Well, we could just tell them. We could flip the coin during.
Oh, man. That's going to be a real gamble, isn't it?
No, dude,
But it's going to make the greatest podcast of all time if we pull it off.
It's going to be so great, dude. I'm going to be so happy because it's going to be a podcast and a parody of a podcast at the same time.
Yeah.
That's like
performance
what
art.
I want. It's like 1.5 levels makes like 3 levels. It's awesome. It's what I'm about.
I guess that does it.
Oh, and then we saw another Kubo and the Two Strings trailer, and we're excited to see that one.
I want to keep talking about 9 Lives.
Keep going. You have more to say about 9 Lives?
I just hate it so much. God damn it, it's 2016. Why are they making this film right now? It's about a talking cat.
It really does feel like a 90s movie. It feels like
100 D's for Eddie McDowd.
It's
movie.
I don't even know the movie you're talking about.
Oh, it was like an old Nickelodeon show.
Oh.
Let me explain this premise
to you. Now, was this a made-for-TV movie, or was this a TV show?
Oh, poor sweet innocent Lars. It was a television show.
So this was every week?
Every week, tune in to watch. Okay, here's the premise.
Okay.
It's about...
And what's the name of the show again?
100 Deeds for Eddie McDowd.
100 Deeds for...
Or of Eddie McDowd.
Of Eddie McDowd.
It'll make more sense when I explain it.
Okay, go for it. Go. All right.
So it's about this bully. He's a real dickhole, He's beating up this kid. This is the pilot.
There's blood right there on Nickelodeon. They're showing it
all over the place.
Okay.
No, he's just a bad egg until he gets cursed by this older gentleman who I guess is Satan. I don't know. It's kind of not explained, but he's like this old guy and he curses him, and now Eddie gets turned into a dog. Right?
Okay.
And he can't talk to anyone except the last person he bullied.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
And to lift the curse, he needs to do 100 good deeds for someone other than himself. He needs to help someone else out. So now he and this former kid that he bullied need to team up and restore himself to human form
Wow.
by doing good deeds.
So
he's a
that
dog, and he
sounds
talks.
so, but only the kid.
Only
can
the
understand
kid.
it. That sounds a lot better than Nine Lives, the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of enjoyed that TV show.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a better premise.
Yeah, it was like My Name is Earl before My Name is Earl.
Yeah, which I loved. My Name is Earl.
It was
too.
a great show.
Yeah, I mean, that one sort of pettered off after a while. I think but
yeah, this movie is just about Kevin Spacey hanging out with his family.
yeah,
It's
like
not about
I
helping
was
anyone.
a bully and I need to be nice to people is way better than like I didn't spend enough time with my family.
This is also like the movie Jack Frost with a guy who I forget. And I believe he doesn't spend enough time with his family. I haven't seen this movie, I've only heard it. And he gets turned into a snowman and then it like spends time with his family, and it's like a Christmas film. Except it was terrible.
I don't remember that one either. I feel so ignorant right now.
I haven't seen it because of course I only see good
Yeah.
movies.
I mean,
But that was the premise.
I mean me too. But like, okay, yeah, no, it really does seem like one of those 90s movies where they're like, oh, we finally have the technology to make a CG cat, and we can put a CG cat. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I've seen
We're looking
that.
at the poster
like,
now.
Nick has brought it up on his phone.
Michael Keaton.
I've recognized that. What year is that movie?
1998?
Oh man.
Yeah, December 11, 1998.
Okay.
Let me just...
I recognize the poster. It looks terrible.
Jack Frost is getting a second chance to be the world's coolest dad. ... If he doesn't melt first.
Oh God.
Buckle in.
Oh.
If you didn't see Jack Frost, don't worry, you can see Nine Lives.
Except, okay. So here's a question for you, Nick.
Okay.
Which movie do you think is worse, Jack Frost or Nine Lives?
I'm going to excuse any film made before the year 2000
That's fair.
as not being a modern film, and they didn't know what they were doing.
That's
they didn't
right.
know any better. They were
okay.
uncivilized back then.
Yeah,
It was
because in
pre-9/11.
1998 they said, "You guys, I think we finally have the technology to make an animatronic snowman for a movie." And they said, "Holy cow, what can we do? Quick, make a script. I'm sure it's fine, whatever we come up
Yeah,
with."
it needs to be before Christmas.
Yeah. We've got 3 months to make this movie. Let's make it. Who do you know? What Keaton, Michael Keaton, good.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
He signed up.
Yep.
He needs money.
He's the first one who called us back.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay for 1998.
Yeah.
That was 18 years ago.
This is supposed to be, like, we have iPhones now, you know? Like, we should
Yeah.
know better.
Yeah.
We should know what makes a good movie.
We have movies like Avatar where the whole thing is CG, and now people like it doesn't matter anymore. Now nobody even knows whether they're looking at live action or animation anymore anyway.
Well, I feel like we're talking about two different things. Just because we can make a movie doesn't mean that we
Yeah.
should make a movie.
Well, what's funny is it's like it seems like the only justification to make this movie would be if it was
Oh, I see what you're
25
saying.
years ago and they were really excited that they could do up to
Okay.
90 seconds of footage of a CG cat.
Got it.
You know,
I see what you're saying.
like remember the movie Cats and Dogs?
Of course.
Like, they made that movie because they were like, hey, I think we have the technology to make this movie poorly. And then they're like, let's do it. And they did. And
man.
yeah. And I mean, that's why this type of movie gets made, right? But
Uh-huh.
when did Cats and Dogs come out?
Probably 1998.
Yeah,
if I were to guess.
thereabouts.
Although Kitty Galore came out a little bit later.
Probably
Probably in the 2000s.
Man, yeah, probably. But, I don't remember that even.
Well, of course, who does? Except for me, because I love cats.
I'm really impressed, honestly. Like, you remembering all these movies.
You don't remember
that
The
I
Rise of Kitty
remember.
Galore?
No.
The sequel to Cats and Dogs?
So it was a sequel.
Absolutely it was.
Okay. I assumed it was called Cats and Dogs 2.
Well, it was Cats and Dogs 2, The Rise of Kitty Galore.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Yeah.
I was dude, I was starting to feel really stupid.
No.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
All right. So cool. All right.
Hey,
So
yeah, we saw Kubo and the Whatever Strings.
So Kubo and the Two Strings comes out later this year. We'll definitely check that out.
No, it looks good.
Yeah,
We'll review that one.
9 Lives.
It's a palate cleanser.
Like, could we be drunk enough to see 9 Lives for this podcast?
Oh, I'd like to think that I could.
Oh man, we should
There's a bar in this theater. I don't see why not.
Dude, I don't want to spend as much money at this bar as it would take to get drunk enough to see Nine
All
Lives.
right. Well, plus, Lars and I, off camera, off podcast, we'll be watching Minions.
On
not
Monday.
sober, necessarily.
Yeah, well, yeah. Are we going to podcast that, though? I don't
No,
think.
no. This is
Although,
just us.
Dude, you know what? We should talk to Meg, though. I think she could make a very good
All right,
special guest
We're definitely
star.
taking this part out. This is a little bit behind the scenes.
This is the hashtag BTS, you guys.
But yes, you should talk to her about that. I will say, and I wanted to bring this up earlier, I forgot.
Okay.
I hate the Minions more than Angry Birds, but I've had more time to hate the Angry Birds because they've been around for longer.
Well, so that just shows that your hatred of the Minions is stronger and more concentrated.
Yeah, I think so, and I hope longer lasting too.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, like, you know, at least the Angry Birds don't talk, you know.
Whoa, in the game? What do you mean?
Yeah, in the game, you know, like, and when they did talk, it was in this really entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't just say banana.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not talk about the name. Let's not talk about
I
it.
hate myself now.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to the end of the show.
Okay. So anyway, so Ghostbusters we might see.
Yeah.
Kubo we'll see later on.
Definitely gonna see that 'cause it looks
Nine
good.
Lives if we're like just bombed out of our minds, and then and our next episode will be.
Ghostbusters, I guess.
Is
Right?
when does Ghostbusters come out?
I don't know.
Is it Ghostbusters? Wait, but then what about Secret Life of Pets?
I don't know if I want to see that.
Oh yeah,
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see. Let's
It could be.
tease both.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, okay, yeah, it'll be something, you guys. It'll be something.
It'll
It's
be something
summer.
good.
It's summer, so episodes is coming.
Oh yeah,
Yep. Hope you like episodes.
there's a bunch of them.
Woo. Okay, well, I
right.
guess this concludes the trailer report and the next episode.
Yeah, thanks
and
for listening.
Angry Birds
We went off on a lot of
episode.
different tangents there, but thanks for staying with us.
Yeah, no, I had fun.
Yeah.
I had fun
Me
talking,
too.
just shooting this shit.
Yeah.
Aw, swears. Okay.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
This is Nick. Edit this out.
It's actually the afternoon.